This first series, we're going to have Kai start with a single leg cross hinge to side bend. And so for those of you who downloaded the Fascial line assessment ebook, you'll recognize this one. On this, we're going to have her cross that left hand towards the right pinky toe. So creating some scapular reaching, backside reaching there. And then as she transitions up and into the bend pattern, unlike the assessment, now I want her to keep that stick down to have some stability here. She's going to push through that bottom hand, pull through that top hand, and here we're looking for that good C shape on the outside aspect of the body here. We'll come back around, reset. Kai's doing a great job here, keeping the foot active, open, covering surface area, hinging through the hip, getting calf, getting hamstring and glute here. And then going into that bend pattern one more time here. Good job on the shape, active on the hands, and then utilizing the breath to facilitate motion. All right, number 2 here, we have a half kneeling T-spine matrix. So honestly, I just kind of cue this like do your best Keanu Reeves impression here, but for this, very importantly, is focused mostly on rib motion. So we're thinking about trying to move and bend through the ribs as best we can. So for this one, Kai is going to start by interlocking the fingers behind the head and kind of pulling those elbows back. She'll take her big inhale to initiate, and then we will always start by side bending towards that front leg and then kind of hinging and sweeping under. And then as she gets to this portion here, we're going to have her pull top elbow up and around back to that starting position. So this is one where we don't have that terminal end range, breathe twice component here, but if you listen, if I shut up, she's doing a great job exhaling throughout this whole motion. Good, and we'll go one more time here, paying attention to the breath and the rib motion. Excellent. So number 3 here, this is one where we will program this as a core movement, as a hip movement, for an exercise, but works great for a line stretch as well. So for here, Kai's got her feet unstacked up on the box. She's going to breathe in, and we are just going to kind of pull down into that bottom position. Rebreathe. And then push back to that top position. So very interesting here. Go ahead again, Kai. We can see when she gets down into this bottom position and she goes into her breath, how her hip and her rib cage almost kind of open up and collapse with her breath cadence. So that's exactly what I mean. It's a great demonstration of what I mean by using the breath to create motion or dynamic. So even though it appears that she's static in this position here, that breath is kind of helping us to stretch some of these intercostals, a little bit of the oblique and some of the lateral hip complex here, but great demo there. So number 4, last one for this series here, we're going to do a band QL stretch with an arm reach here. So again, when we're thinking about the lateral line, the shape that we want to kind of take this to is almost like that C shape here, getting rounding. So for here, we're going to have her displace hands and feet at the same time, and this is going to really emphasize oblique QL and then some of that lateral hip complex there. So for this, we got pretty light tension on the band here, and for this one, we don't want to fight that band tension. Let the band kind of pull you into the stretch. Good exhale there, great shape. And then we'll just kind of work back to a passive reset. Like, again, we don't want to make this overly strenuous for no reason. Rebreathe. I should also note here, Kai has her lower back pretty sealed down to the ground here. We're flush throughout the spine. Her ankles or her legs are about 2 inches off the ground here. If we come up too high, it'll take the stretch off of the QL and the obliques and turn it into more of a hip flexor exercise. So staying low, staying long, getting real round in that outside part of the hip, and trying to create length from toe to fingertip. Great job.